There's times when it's so easy to feel like you're going through these motions. You're going through these patterns of anticipation and then plateau. Or anticipation and something happens and you get let down again. And it's almost like the cycle just keeps on repeating. Especially the plateau part. I've noticed that's happened in my life so much. Especially whenever you have certain goals in mind, when you have a calling for more. You just don't necessarily know how to exactly pursue that calling because you're stuck in a place where there's a lot of things that's preventing you from ultimately getting there every single day. I say this because this is something that I deal with a lot, and that's kind of why I'm making this video, is what I want to share, because usually if it's something that I'm really passionate about and it's really very much on my mind, it's something that a lot of people I've found have resonated with. So that's kind of why I'm sharing this. Because lately it's been hitting me. Like, I feel like there's been a lot of times where I want more and I feel the calling for more within me, and I want to be able to do more. You know, I want to be a man on a mission, you're right? I feel like that's the number one thing that brings us purpose in this life, is having something to work towards, is having a goal in mind and a vision for where God wants you to go. But what's hard is whenever you're in a place where there's a lot of things around you that's ultimately hindering that vision. It's keeping you from truly exemplifying the things that you want to be able to carry in this world to become who you want to be. And I think the biggest thing is just having that purpose. If you don't have a purpose in life, you're ultimately just going to be drifting around and you're going to be going through these motions. It's not good to go through motions, is what I've realized. A lot of things in this life are meaningless. A lot of things in this life that we pursue, a lot of things in this life that we think bring us pleasure, fulfillment, they're meaningless. And a life without purpose is also meaningless. If we're here just drifting around, if we're here just not really conscious of where we are or conscious of who we're becoming or where we need to be, what's the point of anything that we're doing? And part of the reason it's been so much on my mind is because I've kind of been in this loop recently. You know, sometimes it just happens. It just comes in your life where, and luckily I've been pretty quick to notice it. And so I like to assess whenever these things are happening and hopefully get out of these loops, because I don't want to be in these loops forever, But sometimes they just come and go. And a lot of times I feel like they're inevitable. And after having this happen in my life multiple times, I've been able to really assess kind of where it comes from and realize why I'm very vulnerable to these things happening in my life is because I just let my guard down. You know, when you let your guard down and you drop the things that you've already affirmed yourself just because of, stuff coming in your life that you don't really expect. Maybe it's stuff coming in your life that you don't expect, or people telling you certain things, and you're just comparing yourselves to the normal people in this world, to the world. You don't want to compare yourself to the world because you're not of this world, you're of the kingdom. And when you're of the kingdom, you're made for more. You're simply called to be different. But sometimes whenever you're in this world and you're around worldly things, a lot of the times that vision can be hindered. And so this has been kind of happening in my life recently, I feel like. And I let my guard down. And so I feel like recently I've been kind of drifting around without that purpose. And when I have these loops, these cycles, when I have this feeling of purposelessness, when I have this feeling of confusion, not really sure where to go, it really changes everything. It changes my entire perspective on life, because I realize that if I don't have a purpose in this life, then everything is meaningless. There's no part of me to exist in this life and find meaning in this life if I don't have a purpose. Luckily, I know I have a purpose, and that comes from God, and so does yours. But in order for me to truly access and find that purpose and seek that purpose, I have to open my mind to the possibility that there is more for me. I have to open my mind to the possibility that there is something greater in store for me than all these things that I'm giving into in this world. Because again, all the pleasures of this world are ultimately meaningless. You know, we're made here to glorify God in all that we do. How are we going to glorify God if we're simply not even acknowledging Him? Whenever you don't acknowledge God, your vision is just darkened. It's just blacked out. There's no part of you that can even see the person that God wants you to be, because you're completely disregarding Him. But when you can acknowledge God, when you can see Him, when you can listen to Him, what He's trying to tell you, He gives you the vision and He opens up your mind and your eyes to what's true. And this is it's kind of scary. And one of the most shocking things that I've found that the Lord has provided me with is the eyes to see and the ears to hear. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of things that are revealed to you whenever you seek the truth. There's a lot of things that are revealed to you when you seek God that change the way you view pretty much everything in this life, because we live in an evil world, and a lot of the things that are revealed are a lot deeper than what they used to look like. To gain wisdom means you gain sorrow. And what that means is the more that you're revealed to the realities of the world, the more that's revealed to you about how this world really works and how evil it really is, it kind of sucks because it brings you grief. It brings you a lot of sorrow in some ways. While yes, it's a blessing to have a renewed mind, it's a blessing to be able to see things from an enlightened perspective, from a godly lens, a lot of the stuff that you see just completely contradicts what you thought was normal. And so now your entire perspective is just kind of flipped on what you thought was normal. And again, this is a blessing, because this is the point that allows you to grow. This is the point where you start to elevate. This is the part where you start to become enlightened to what's true and what's not. And I don't really say this in like a spiritual, nerdy way, but it's true. Like once you see it, there's no other way to see it. You've seen The Matrix. It's literally like The Matrix. Not literally, but metaphorically. It's like The Matrix. It really is. Like you hear it all the time. Like we live in a Matrix. And it's like, yeah, I'm not going to get freaking, Andrew Tate on you. But like there's so much of this world and so much of this world that we consider normal that's just not normal at all. But everyone's just so conformed to it. This is why I say whenever you're blessed with the eyes to see and the ears to hear and the mind to think and to process what's going on, it's a lot deeper than what you originally thought it was. And ultimately, it's all spiritual. It's a spiritual root that goes a lot deeper than you think. And again, it's kind of scary. It brings you grief in a way. But to be able to now have a mind where you see things how it's meant to be seen and to see the truth, it really changes everything. And I think this is the starting point of gaining your purpose in this life. This is where it starts to become clear for you and what you need to do to live out a fulfilling life. Whenever you're just drifting around with what everyone else is doing, drifting around conforming to the things that are happening around you rather than you actually making things happen. Because I was doing this for so long. And like I'm in school and it's so easy to just let these things happen to me. And this is why I've been letting them happen to me, because it's so easy. And I say this because it sucks sometimes, because I know that I want more and I know I'm called for more. When I go through these periods where I don't necessarily feel that obligated to pursue that calling, I just start drifting around. And then I wonder, when I beat myself up, I wonder when I get in these dark moments, why I don't feel happy or why I don't feel purposeful. It's because I've been letting life just carry me on without actually me making anything of this life. If we're not doing that, what's the point of living? If we're not making life the way we want it to be made for us, what's the point? A lot of people just wake up and immediately just go on with their day. Just go on with what they think is what they're supposed to do without even considering who they are or considering what they're called to do. And I struggle with it too. Like I'm saying this because I'm not perfect, and I've realized that this is just kind of really changing when it comes to your perspective on things. And that's why I want to share it with you all, because y'all are the same as me. Maybe it just takes someone to tell you to change your perspective a little bit. But when you can have such a firm understanding of who you are and who God wants you to be, I think that's where it truly starts. That's where it starts for you to have that calling, where you have a clear vision for what you can do to make a difference in this world. Because I don't want to just drift along with the wind. I don't want to just chase after the wind. It's all meaningless. It's all meaningless. At the end of the day, if we're not pursuing God, if we're not pursuing the vision He wants us to have, then ultimately we're just running towards something that is unfulfilling. And that's going to lead you nowhere. And I know that to be true 100% because, like I said, I'm in college and I've I've ran into a lot of those things already. I'm in a fraternity. Like, what do you think? Like, what do you think I've been surrounded by for the past couple of years? Did any of that bring me any fulfillment? Absolutely not. In the moment, I thought it was awesome. In the moment, I thought this is what college is for. This is what college is for. And here I am as a senior, realizing that all of this was meaningless. But I have faith in my Lord, and I know that he's going to provide for me and point me in the direction he wants me to go in. And he will do the same for you. You just have to acknowledge him. Again, you know, I said this before, and I'll say it again. He's already knocking at your door. You just got to let him in. God's been knocking at your door. You just got to let him in. You just got to open the door. Right? It's not even like you have to invite him in. Like, he's already there. You just have to acknowledge him. Once you do that, that's where it starts to change. Change in a good way. And that's why I'm sharing this video, because this change that will start in your life. This changes everything. This change begins the start of something transformative for you, as it did for me, and I'm still on that journey right now. And I can't wait to see what's ahead, because I know that when I put my faith in the Lord, when I look to him in all things, there is so much assurance in that whatever is to happen is good. And I know you'll feel that assurance too, because it's very hard not to in the moment whenever you're just drifting around. So don't drift. Discipline, don't drift. That's the name of the game. So that's all I got for this video, for real. I'm about to get a buzz cut. I'm about to buzz my head, because I am tired of always worrying about how I look. Because I tend to do that a lot, I'm not gonna lie. And if this isn't in my way, that's not a problem, there's nothing to worry about. And I'm sharing this with you all because the meaning behind why I'm doing it is supposed to be inspiring for myself, to assure myself that if I don't have these things distracting me, there's nothing keeping me from becoming who I want to be and achieving what I want to achieve. So I share that with you all. Maybe you're in a similar spot. Maybe there's things that's you're still holding on to that if you don't let go of, keeping you from where you want to be. And so that's why I'm doing it. I'm shaving the hair, because I've been holding on to these locks for a while now, and it's you know, I'm starting to idolize it. I've realized, like, I idolize my look sometimes. That's not good. So yeah, turn the page a little bit. But here we go. Thank y'all for watching this video. See y'all in the next one.